Yo, what's going on, everybody? So I was not planning on going live, but then it dawned on me that today is Periscope's last and final day, and as a lot of people are trying to access Periscope, you're probably greeted with this message. So I'll show it here. You're probably greeted with that message right there, letting you know. But if you hit, check the website, tells you the same thing. Um, However, there are still some people live streaming currently right now on Periscope as the final scopes go through. Hey, Gene, what's going on, man? So one of them is the homie Carlos. Carlos is on there right now live. I was just listening to his scope, and yeah, I figured, you know what, like Periscope has done a lot for the live streaming game, I guess you could say. The whole platform itself, just live streaming and sharing your day-to-day stuff. What's up, Michael? How's it going? And so you know this platform, I mean, originally, I'll be honest with everybody, originally I was more fond of Meerkat than I was of Periscope. But eventually, Twitter canceled its APIs for Meerkat, so Meerkat, you couldn't live stream to Twitter no more. Periscope became the thing. And I was just looking back at a couple of my scopes that I've done from years ago, and too bad there wasn't an option. Like when Periscope announced that they were going to shut it down today, March 31st, they should have allowed the live streamers the ability to download the data off of it. So download all the scopes, you know what I mean? Like all the streams that everybody did, just download them so they have a copy of them. So the best thing that I can do was screen record the ones that I just wanted, and I made a little stitched up video, but I wasn't too happy with it because I'm like, these are just scopes of me talking and stuff like that. They're not like showing anything really fantastic or anything like that. So I don't know if I'm going to upload it to YouTube just to have it there archived. But I did chop it up because a lot of them were like really long scopes. And wow, I still got bed hair. You guys see me in all my raw natural forms. Yeah, so while there's a lot of people that's getting in their final scopes and saying goodbye to the platform. I mean, in a way, how it's being treated. Wow, did I have something glitter on me? The heck? uh, but anyways, they're saying goodbyes, but it's not really a final goodbye to all of it because you can go live directly from the Twitter application. There are some caveats to going live from the Twitter application versus what you were able to do on Periscope. On Periscope, you were able to create private live streams, right? So you can like select people who you follow and follow you and give them access to actually be able to see these private broadcasts that you would have. On Twitter, it's not the case. In order to live stream on Twitter, your account cannot be private. It has to be opened up. So that's like a that's like a cause for concern. I really wish that, in this amount of time that we knew, and God, this is really bothering me. What the heck? Like, dude, my hair. What the frick is wrong with me today? Anyways, in this time that we knew that Periscope was going to shut down, they were going to shut down the Periscope app. Well, the biggest question that I have to ask Twitter is, why not implement the same features that's, within Periscope and put that into Twitter Live? It's possible they can move all that stuff over. And really it's not a lot of things to really move over. It's more of just a thing of just enabling the ability to have private live streams where you can stream, or set up like how this is what I would do. How in Twitter you can create groups, and those groups that you create in your DM, it would be nice if they put like a live button in and you can go live directly to just that group, that Twitter group. And if you're not in the group, if you haven't been invited into the group, then obviously you won't be able to access the live stream. Only those people will be able to. It's crazy, but I mean, in general, technically, the live streaming capability on the Twitter platform is not gone. It's not dead. It's not completely eradicated. It is just moved over to the main app. And that's kind of why, I titled this as Twitter Monopoly, because Twitter just seems to be on this thing where it's just grabbing every type of thing out there that is popular in the social media community and trying to, embed all that stuff into the Twitter app itself. I mean, if you remember the first early days of Twitter, all it was microblogging. Microblogging 140 characters. It really is all that you can do. And then they started slowly implementing different things into it. Periscope hit the scene, and that was the live streaming capability for Twitter. And it wasn't, I think, a little while after Periscope was like a thing, and there was a lot of people going on Periscope and influencers going on Periscope. Like one of my favorite ones was Rice and Spam. I loved watching their Periscopes. They would go to different restaurants, try food and eat and stuff like that. They would have these discussions and talk, and it was really what it was about. Like in Meerkat and Periscope, really that's what it was about, was just having discussions and talk. Of course, Periscope evolved over time and started allowing you to actually have guests in as audio guests only. Only the host of the live stream was able to be visual through video feed. Everyone else was through audio. But they implemented live streaming to Twitter. And so people were kind of confused, like, well, what's the point of this? Well, this was the point of it, because they're eventually going to kill off Periscope. Let me see some of the comments here. Good. Periscope had poor streaming quality and no regulations to maintain the quality of the platform on Twitter. I mean, I don't know about poor streaming quality. It really depended on your network carrier, just about how good your quality was, because there was a lot of Periscope influencers that I followed that had tremendous, and I'll get into those a little bit later, just kind of like, recapping Periscope and some of my favorite scopers, and just giving them shout outs. But when you look at it now, it makes sense why they're going to get rid of Periscope. They're going to get rid of the application itself, and they're going to solely focus on the Twitter app. Jack Dorsey, who, okay, I'll be honest, I don't really like the guy and the way that he handles his policies on Twitter and the things that he does. You know what I mean? As far as like censorship and stuff like that, but that's for a whole totally different topic. But Twitter has really evolved from what it used to be, going beyond 140 character microblogging, implementing, fleets, which is like Snapchat stories. They say that they need to implement something that pretty much is like Instagram, but technically it kind of is. I mean, your Twitter feed kind of already like your Instagram feed. You post a photo, you put a caption, a description in the tweet, and it's there. If you want to find all just, the photos or, videos, you just switch the tab over to media, and that's all the person's photos and media. So they kind of already have like an Instagram clone there, sort of. I mean, the UI is not completely copying Instagram, but it has an Instagram type thing. Then you also got to think beyond that. The microblogging, the video posting. I mean, they're like, well, they're going to steal from TikTok. I mean, you kind of already can do that on Twitter, but a little bit, more, because like on TikTok, you can post 60-second clips. I believe on Twitter, you can post 2-minute clips, I think, if I'm not mistaken. But even then, even if you were to only post 60-second clips, you can literally edit a 60-second clip. Completely different. What else is similar to Periscope? A lot of people on Periscope, the influencers, they're moving to Happs TV. So HAPPS.TV. Gene is on there. A lot of them are moving there. As a matter of fact, when they got wind that Twitter was going to shut down Periscope, a lot of the influencers had already moved to Happs, and Happs literally, already had it where you can feed into Periscope, onto YouTube, and various, because Happs allows you to multicast. So your live stream can be broadcasted on multiple places. And so people were already using Happs. There we go. Yeah, Happs TV, man. I'm already on Happs. I haven't gone on there in a while to live stream. I don't know. I have too many social platforms, so I kind of pretty much screwed myself there. But yeah, this platform going away, I think the only thing that really needed to be implemented into the Twitter Live, because Twitter, you'll still be able to go live on there, but the thing that they implement is just a little bit more privacy security options for people out there who want to keep their live streams private. There are a lot of people who do live streams and they keep it private. But yeah, as far as Twitter as a monopoly, you could create TikTok-like videos and post it to Twitter for your followers to follow. Now, of course, it doesn't have the user interface that kind of sets it up in that format where, you have like on the side of your video, you have like a thing to like, a thing to open your profile, thing to comment, thing to share. It doesn't have those icons on the side, but really, is that what really defines like a a micro skit video? Not much. Not really. So yeah, you could create TikTok like videos on Twitter already. And then recently, and it's still in beta, Twitter Spaces, which was funny because yesterday I was watching Gigi's live stream with King Pixel and all of them on it. And I had said in the live stream comment, because originally when I had Twitter Spaces open up for me, it was only accessible to me from my iPhone. So if I wanted to do any type of space on Twitter, just to have an audio conversation, which is kind of like Clubhouse, I would have to do it on my iPhone. And then so I was like, yeah, I told them like, yeah, I can access it on my iPhone, but for some odd reason, I can't access it on my Pixel 5. And they were like, oh, that's weird. That's strange. I'm like, yeah, that's strange. And then about an hour and a half after I left their live stream, all of a sudden, I open up Twitter on my Pixel 5, and I'm greeted with this message that's telling me that I can access Spaces on my Pixel 5, and I'm like, Jesus, it's making me into a freaking liar. So now, and let's see. Oh, there's still a couple of people live on Periscope right now. So, of course, showing my live stream too. But yeah, let me just go to Twitter real quick. So now if I go to Twitter, ooh, bump the table. And I hit the little circle thing. Now you can see I have Spaces on the top, photos, GIF, and then tweet. So now I have Spaces unlocked on Twitter. So go figure. It was just funny as hell to me that they unlocked that. But basically, Twitter has a monopoly on just about everything that there is out there now. Literally, like whatever new type of a social platform is available, Twitter is grabbing the idea and trying to implement it into their Twitter app. And that's why I call Twitter the monopoly now, because it has just basically everything you would want. I mean, the only thing you really don't have is the ability to upload full-scale videos such as YouTube. But you couldn't upload a 10-minute video or 15-minute video to Twitter, but you can upload, I think, like a 2-minute video. Let's see. Audio source. Yep, watching you on Scope. I'm still in here, but can't broadcast. Yeah. From the app itself, I can't broadcast either. I was going to try to, just to kind of make it a little authentic and just have like my YouTube live stream and Twitch going on here on StreamYard, and then have like my tripod. Well, my tripod mount's actually set up behind me. I was going to have my phone mounted there for the Periscope, but it wouldn't let me. I mean, I'm in here watching right now. I can see other people's live streams, and watching everybody just kind of, do their final Periscope. And, there were a lot of good people on here that I remember, kind of reminiscing a little bit back in the day with Periscope, right? So like I said, Rice and Spam was one of my favorite scopers that I used to check out a lot. And they and in the beginning they did a lot of things where they went to like restaurants to try food, and then they would live stream on Periscope, and they would have like conversations with the viewers while they tried something from a new restaurant that they went and checked out together. Eventually the duo split up, and the woman known as Rice went on her own doing scopes on Periscope, and she's her handle is at Go Rice Girl. And she still does live streams. I mean, she was just on Haps, which was simulcasting the Periscope for her final Periscope. She did that. There was another big scopers. They went by Travel the World, and it was a couple. Gosh, I forgot the name because I haven't seen them post anything in like a couple years. But they were literally traveling the world, and they were going live on Periscope and kind of sharing, the area that they were staying at and what they were doing. It was a couple, and they had their dog with them on this world trip. And it was really, really, really fun to watch. Really, absolutely amazing and fun to watch. Just the places that they went to. I mean, throughout Southeast Asia, they made they were in Europe prior to that. So seeing them in Germany, seeing them in France, they went everywhere. And obviously they lived up to their Periscope channel name, which is Travel the World. That's exactly what they were doing. It was a lot of fun. When I had downtime or whatever, I can get on there and watch, and just, it really kind of brought you to different places. And that was such a cool thing. I really liked the way people kind of used Periscope. I mean, Um, they just it just blew up to be this really cool place to watch live streams, and of course, every other place started to implement live streaming, like Facebook, and brought in live streaming on the Facebook platform, and you had YouTube really kind of pushing for mobile live streaming because I mean you had live streaming from Hangouts on Air, and people were always wanting, hey, we need a mobile version of this, and instead, the big G company decided to kill Hangouts on Air and then make it make live streaming on mobile, but then on mobile you can't have guests on mobile, so you would have to use this thing here known as StreamYard to be able to live stream to YouTube with guests. Coffee, welcome in. Hey, how's it going? Wow, odd to see you live at this time. Yeah, I wasn't going to do a live stream around this time. I actually wasn't going to do one today. I was actually going to go on Spreaker and record an audio cast and have that uploaded to YouTube and everything. But I totally forgot today was the final day for Periscope. So I would just come on, and since I'm live streaming to Periscope right now, then as my final Periscope, then I would just share that experience archived for YouTube, and it's on Twitch. Let me see if there's anybody else still on Periscope besides me. Okay, so What's Good is in there right now, live streaming, and I'm still in there live streaming. So, and then this person, Pac Bane, is live streaming. Carlos is in there. So Carlos, I guess, ended his final Periscope and joined in on somebody else's. Looks like AT&T and Verizon Info Assistant is in there, and a few other people. So yeah, that was her name, Joanne Pham, known as a Go Rice Girl. She did her final Periscope and was doing it from Haps TV. Painfully Honest Tech actually was in there doing a live. That was about 2 hours ago. So kind of funny to see that he went inside there. There's a lot of people in there doing. There's a user named Scott, and he put LOL had a good time hanging out with Hal and the Hellraisers. Lawrence did Sneed did one. Lawrence was a guest on it, but Sneed Mobile Tag did his final morning stream on Periscope. And Randy W. Horton was on there with the final Periscope broadcast from Saudi Arabia. Yeah. I mean, it kind of seems like it's a sad day for the scopers, but then at the same time, too, you still have Twitter Live. And, well, I mean, the only thing that Twitter has to do is address the security to stop spammers and trollers. That's really it. That's really all they need to focus on. If they gave because one of the ways that I can go live on Twitter, like directly through Twitter and not through Periscope, and not have certain people that I know that like to make trouble actually come in, is they're blocked on my Twitter account. So if they're blocked, they're done. And I know it's a bit cumbersome to have to keep doing that because we know that some of them tend to, have like multiple accounts so they can go in and just ruffle the feathers of people. And it's always a pain in the ass to really just go in there and hit block on each one. And then even then, if they wanted to like watch without being detected, they could just build a profile and just go and watch your live stream and just ghost in there, not say anything, not cause any trouble, but then, see your live stream. And if they wanted to make trouble, they can, screen record your stuff or whatever. I mean, there's just a whole lot of things that Twitter needs to work on for their Twitter Live to make it better. I mean, Twitter Live and Periscope are pretty much like hand in hand, except that there was features from the Periscope app you were able to do that was never pushed or implemented into the Twitter app itself. So they need to kind of do that. Hoping on the next iteration of the update of the Twitter app, they actually implement these security features. Michael says, remember, it took Twitter 4.5 years to, yeah, okay. We're not going to be like, one thing I did find out, and here's something funny, Michael. I actually talked with the YouTube liaison about it. So, and I totally screwed the pooch here, but when there's comments like that seem a bit edgy or whatever, I may not highlight them to be viewed, which I just kind of screwed up now, only because YouTube policies and stuff like that. That's what that contributes to what they call shadow ban, and yeah, I'm trying to get out of that that lurky, sticky mud on YouTube. So, uh, let's see. It says, I got an Android 11 update for the Samsung A40. Don't know if I should do it. Have you seen anyone complain about it? Like, were there any issues that happened after they took the system update? Um, you still have YouTube, Hap TV to live stream. I still have Twitter. I'll still live stream on Twitter. I already said that. Like, just because Periscope is done doesn't mean that, I won't, simul stream. Because that's one of the things too that I have to look at StreamYard to do is since Periscope is done, they're gonna have to drop everyone's connection to Periscope, but allow us to connect to our Twitter accounts. So that way when we live stream, it'll be just like this. It'll just show on YouTube, it'll show on Twitch, it'll show on Twitter. And really that's what that's what they need to do. Hap sucks, worst broadcasting app ever I ever saw. It's not bad. Haps is really not that bad. I just think it's a bit clunky, and I think they really need to kind of just simplify the UI for content creators. Because one of the things that just really did catch me off guard, live streaming on Haps from the mobile phone, is that there's a split window. One shows your actual live feed, and the other one is like the viewfinder. You know what I mean? It was just weird to see two of those things when you're really seeing yourself in a live stream. I think that thing should be something that you turn on or off because it will confuse people to see two different viewfinders, and one is the actual live stream feed and the other one is the actual viewfinder. It's just like, okay, let's see. I am not happy with OnePlus because we still have not got our Oxygen 11 update. What do you mean? If you have the OnePlus Nord N10 5G, it already has Android 11. It's done had it when it was released on Metro. My lady's OnePlus, believe that has Android 11. So I don't know what's going on. So let me check about that. Haps has 7,894 fonts on the page. Too small letters, too choppy, too confusing like Facebook. It sucks. Okay. I got you. I'm not trying to tell you to go there because I rarely use Haps. I mean, you could ask Gene. I know Gene regularly uses Haps to live stream. You can ask him. I barely go on that thing to live stream. I think a lot of my live streams are just done through StreamYard or natively within the app that I'm using. So if it's Twitter, I'm going to live stream on Twitter. If it's YouTube, I'll live stream mobilely from the YouTube app. Yeah, I don't do or like Instagram. Screen to call. Let's see who this is. They hung up. Sad. It's great. Habs is tremendous. You have not got it. Huh. That's interesting. So when you go into settings, you go to system and then the system info, it tells you it's on Android 10. Okay. Let's find out. I wonder why. Let's see. So the Nord N10 5G was released November 27th, 2020. Snapdragon 690. Yes, 6 gigs of RAM. 5G supports N2, N5, N25, N41, N66, and N71. That's the official price tag. Wait, where's the... Where's the version of Android? Hold on. Looking at the specifications just to kind of be sure. Oh, that's Android 10. Oh, okay. Huh. Oh, you got me on that one. I thought it launched with Android 11. That's what I was saying. So let's find out. Mm-hmm. Let's see. OnePlus Nord's Android 11 update fixed. Rollout resumes. Okay, so they were rolling it out. And this is to all the Nord devices. We're supposed to get Android 11 update. It was paused due to bug reports, but now they've resumed it. A hot fix is now rolling out to all Nord owners, both those who have the original Android 11 update installed and those who do not. The new update's firmware version is 11.1.1.1. The channel log is almost the same as that of the original release. That's funny. Okay, and this was posted on March 15th, so I don't know. Did you try checking for a system update, Gene? Yo, baby Yoda, what's going on? This is the final stream on Periscope. Sort of. Simulcast using StreamYard. But this is the final one. I wonder if on the Twitter live they're gonna. Well, no, they should be able to. I don't know. We'll see. Not gonna stay out absolutely too long, like I normally do. But yeah, I just wanted to get in my final one. Yes, you got a system update, or you already checked? My girlfriend read in the news for those who use direct deposit to your bank account April 13th. IRS, U.S. Treasury will start the. Oh, okay. I'm not too worried about it, man. I think people are getting too comfortable with that stimulus check or the stimulus handouts. So yeah, we need to get back to work. No system updates. So you did check system updates and nothing. Well, just be patient because they resumed rolling it back out according. Who was this? GSM Arena had reported on this on March 15th. So yeah, hang tight. But then again, I mean, I noticed this, Gene, like you're very up about the Android 11 update, but it's not a super drastic change. Really from Android 10, it's really not. Just some subtle changes to the UI, but that doesn't really change the user experience and performance and the optimization of the software. Like drastically. So it's still Android. You're not missing out on too much, but you'll get it. That's the thing. You'll get it because obviously OnePlus intends to update all their Nords to Android 11. So you can be expecting that. Yeah. So on my final thing, I mean, really, it's sad to see Periscope go for some of the beneficial features that you get within the Periscope app that's not prevalent in the Twitter Live. But I would think that Twitter would implement those things over, especially now that Periscope is on its final day. I mean, it's pretty much done as of right now. A lot of people are getting that message that they can't even access Periscope anymore. So a lot of the people that were on Periscope, they've been jumping over to Haps TV, and I'm sure Twitter's well aware of this. But the feedback that they're going to get obviously is probably going to tell them that some of the features that Periscope had, Twitter doesn't have and needs to have. And I think that's where the developers over at Twitter will begin to implement those things because they've done it before with Periscope. They can do it again with Twitter Live. So that's that. Me personally, I mean, Periscope now joins Meerkat. I don't know if you guys ever heard of Meerkat, but Meerkat was just like Periscope, a little bit better the way the UI looked. But let me see if I can get some photos on it. if I can, just for nostalgic purposes here. I mean, it was just a little bit different than Periscope, but nothing drastic, nothing that was drastically different. And I actually liked using it more than I did for Periscope, to be honest with everybody. Anyways, let me just kind of zoom in here so we can get like a full photo shot. But anyway, that's what it looked like. So I don't know if you guys remember the days of this. But I mean, like, people that came in to watch your live stream, you would see like all their little icons of them on the top, the little profile pics on the top. Of course, you would have all your control nav buttons on the very bottom, and then you would see comments, roll through at the bottom a little bit without overshadowing the entire live stream video. So I liked Meerkat. Twitter took that away. We can't. Let me see this. We can't return to work after 100% of reaches. I beg to differ. I mean, look at Texas right now, and that's a big stab to any politician who was fear mongering the COVID-19. To be honest with you, because Texas started to follow in suit the same way with Florida, and their numbers went down. That's for a different topic, but their numbers went down. I mean, what can you say? You can make all the argument points in the world that everyone should lock down, but Texas decided to go against that and pretty much follow what Florida did. So explain why the numbers are going down. It's all, to me, it's all like, media propaganda and stuff like that. I mean, personally, I think it's up to people to decide. I don't think someone should be telling me exactly what to do all the time. I think that people are well aware of their, their stuff. And, as far as like, immunizations and stuff like that, they're already trying to force people to take it. And I'm not saying they're asking people to take it. I'm saying they're literally considering forcing people to take it. There's a lot of theories being tossed around, like, if you're not on the list of a person who's been vaccinated, they can literally freeze your bank accounts and everything. So when you can't go buy things because you have not been vaccinated. I mean, there's that. There's schools that's pushing for wanting kids to be forced to get the vaccine, and they won't let them attend school. So, I mean, the way things are shaping up to be, they're literally trying to force people to take the vaccination. Those people who want to take it willingly, that's fine. Get a peace of mind. Those that don't want to take it, that's up to them. I'm not going to condemn them because they don't want to take it. The one thing that I look at when it comes to this whole vaccine thing and everything like that, to be quite honest with you, is that, they want people vaccinated. They want people to be vaccinated, to be immunized. The problem is that they don't even have faith in their own vaccines. I mean, when you have somebody like Fauci basically going on record to say that, even if the entire population here in the country was vaccinated, nothing is going to return to the way it was. They're still going to force 6 feet apart mandates. They're going to force mask mandates. I mean, okay. I mean, I'm not saying that this vaccine is the cure, but, if it's supposed to be doing what it's supposed to be doing, which if anyone knows what a vaccine is, literally it's introducing the virus itself in small doses to the body to allow the body to discover what it is, learn what it is, and learn how to fight and kill it. That way, your body's immune system is being worked to recognize, identify, and destroy before it rapidly spreads and gets out of hand. That's the whole point of a vaccination. It's not actually a cure. So with that being said, kind of like my opinion, the way that they, project the vaccine to people is as if like this stuff is going to completely put up a shield where you'll never catch it. And that's not true, because even those people who get flu shots still can actually contract the flu and get sick. And that's the thing about it. So really, let's see. Boss, hey man, I just watched a video of yours from 5 years ago. Whoa. Wow, that's a while back, man. Thank you. I'm glad you're here. Glad to have you here. So, I mean, to be quite honest with that, the one thing that I will not support is I will not support handing over all your rights to a government to control you. That's something that will not ever support. I think people can make decisions for themselves, honestly. They can decide what's best for them. And I'm not out there to look at what people are doing all the time because I got to look at what I'm doing. Oh, it's how to record Google Play Games. Nice. You should be able to do that now from Play Games, the Play Games app, the little green play button icon one. You should be able to screen grab on that. That actually, when you open that up and whatever game you have downloaded on your phone, it gives a list of all the games you have currently installed on your phone, and it should have a record button when you go to that game, that game's page within the app, and you hit record. It'll let you, do 720p record, and then you'll be able to record. But I mean, Android today with Android 11 has native built-in screen recording, so you can actually do that too. Central California now has access to the shots. That's great. I mean, that's great for the people that want to get it. I think one of the biggest problems today is that everyone feels like that their idea needs to be forced on everybody else. I don't know where that type of mentality came from, but I disagree, wholeheartedly, 100% disagree. Caleb, what's up, man? What's going on? Disagree with that 100%. I don't feel like just because I think that I may know what's right and what's best doesn't mean that I have the right to tell anybody here in this live stream how they should live their lives. I will never do that. And I will never support something like that. So whether or not people will say, oh, well, you're willing to let people die? No, not willing to. But I think everyone's responsible for their own decisions and their own fate. That is the way things are. Like if I go out there and I commit a crime, I can't say that Gene will become responsible for it. I'm the one that's responsible for it because I did the action, I did the crime. So I think that a lot of people got to look to thy own self and stop doing a lot of this and focus on themselves, I mean, do I believe that masks 100% work? No, I don't. Do I wear one when I go into Walmart? Yes, because I respect other people to that degree. But that's a respect level that I give, not that it's demanded out of me. Because if someone was to demand out of me anything, then they would get the raw side of me. They didn't want to hear me talk. And that's where it goes with the vaccine. And people are like, you're not going to do your part and get vaccinated. I'll do what the fuck I want to do with my own body. No one's going to tell me what to do with it. And I will never tell anybody else not to do it. If they want to get vaccinated, get vaccinated. If it gives you a peace of mind, that's all it's about. Kayla says, I got the new secure cloud-based VPN DNS server up and running. Let me know if you guys in the community want to try it out. I know you DM'd me on Twitter about that. That's pretty dope, man. Hit me up on Twitter in a DM, just on like what to do and everything like that. I'll give it a shot. But yeah, I kind of went off base there. So like I said, going back to topic at hand, Twitter monopoly, final Periscope, and everything like that. I just find it weird how Twitter is just monopolizing on everything and just trying to incorporate every little feature that you can find on various different other social platforms to really kind of pull people over to Twitter. So what is Twitter trying to do? That's the big question, is what is Twitter trying to do? Because Facebook is currently working on their own version of Spaces. So obviously they're doing the same thing that Twitter's doing. Why do they want all these features here to try and attract people to stay or to just specifically stay with them? Why are they trying to become the all-in-one? That's very interesting. And of course, there's conspiracy theories to that. I'm not really going to talk too much about that. Jane says, I got my vaccine. Nice. How was it? Let us know. Because I think the second one is the one that most people are reporting that when they get their second dose, that's the one that gives them the actual symptoms for, I think, like a 24-hour period. Let's see. You might think it's your right to refuse and risk getting sick, but it's not your right to spread. I beg to differ on that one. Nobody's going to tell me what to do. We live. Okay, so you can't say that this is a country of freedom and then go and spit some line like that, Michael. I'm sorry to say it. You can't go and say that this country is all about freedom, and then you're going to try and condemn somebody that doesn't want to do what you think they should do, because then that's trampling on one's rights. That is the reason why that we, go through the Declaration, bro. Read it hand in hand. I mean, just because it's something that you disagree with, doesn't mean that you have the right to say some shit like that and think that it's something that holds a lot of water, because it doesn't. I mean, with that whole statement right there, you're literally saying that because I refuse to get vaccinated, that, it's I'm gonna go out there and spread it. But bro, you're telling me, okay, and get the irony in this, Michael, and I'm really singling you out right now for that statement. You just said that, okay, that I may think it's my right to refuse the shot and risk getting sick, but it's not my right to, it's not your right to spread the deadly virus. First of all, if I'm maintaining myself, and I mean actually really maintaining myself, which means that, obviously I'm not going places unless I really need to go to those places, and I am actually keeping myself clean, which means, besides just sanitizing your hands, which people think for some reason sanitizing your hands is the only thing. I actually sanitize up to my elbows, and I take showers twice a day. You know what I mean? You can still do your part to slow the spread without getting vaccinated. Like, I get it. Everybody else would think it's so much easier to just go and get vaccinated, like shut the fuck up and go get vaccinated for my peace of mind. But bro, I'm not worried about everyone else's peace of mind. I'm worried about myself. Okay. And here's the reason why that I'm not taking the vaccination. Okay. So one of the things that they talked about, since we're now talking about this whole virus thing, one of the things that they talked about was that those who were susceptible to the virus and succumbing to the virus are those who are elderly, at least, over the age 65. And those people who have a long-term immune deficiency issue. Bro, I'm type 2 diabetic. My immunity is jacked beyond anything. And you really think I'm going to introduce the actual virus into my body to risk a chance of me actually passing and leaving my kids? Hell no. And that's my right to say that I don't trust it and I don't want to die to it, so I'm going to stay alive. So I'm saying, you can't just categorize everybody to being you're 100% healthy, go get the vaccination. You don't know if people have underlying conditions that would make them susceptible and succumb to the virus, even if it's introduced. First of all, the vaccine is not a genetically engineered virus. It is the actual virus itself, according to what they say through the CDC. It is the actual virus itself. And that's why when you get the second dose, you do get the symptoms of it, is because it's a much stronger an introduction of the virus to the body than what the first one is. The first one is just kind of hey, sniff me out. I'm this COVID, virus. The second one is here's 1/4 of the virus in you now. And so now you're going to get the symptoms. And now it's time for your body, since it already recognizes what the virus is. Now it's time for your body's immune system to rush to where the virus is and attack and kill. That's what it is. But you can't go and expect everybody out there to be 100% healthy and say, shut up and go get the vaccination for my safety. No, I'm not going to put myself in jeopardy like that, much less, risk myself leaving my kids early before they're over 18. Because I have kids that I want to see graduate. I have kids that I want to see get married. I have kids that I want to see have a successful life. And then when I'm ready to go, I'll go. I can't predict if I'm going to catch it again. I've already caught it. I've already caught the virus. And I got to say, when people ask me, what was it like? Yeah, it sucked, but it wasn't back in freaking 2006. But of course I can get it again. And it's going to be around. We can't keep trying to fearmonger people or demand people to do things for our own benefit. Otherwise, you're actually saying that somebody should have the control over everybody's conscious decisions. And if you're saying that, then you're giving up your freedom. And if you're giving up your freedom, then you don't believe in freedom. Freedom doesn't go by what you think is free. It goes by, by it being free. Just because it doesn't go by what you think it should be, doesn't mean that it's not part of freedom. It's just like the whole free speech thing. People want to argue and fight over free speech and talk about, well, you can't say this, you can't say that. No, free speech is free speech. Even if it offends people, you still have the right to say it. But when you say things under free speech, if it offends people, then especially to a point of being physical, then you better be ready to have your ass handed to you. That's why they have that little saying, don't let your mouth write a check that your ass can't cash. It's literally saying you have the right to say what you're about to say to offend somebody. But if that person ends up wanting to kick your ass, you can't go and say, hey, he shouldn't be able to beat me up or physically touch me. You called for it. You asked for it. Everyone has to A lot of people do a lot of this nowadays. This, and not a lot of people stop to go this. Not a lot of people stop to go and look at what they can do. So no, Michael, I'm not going to take the vaccine, but it's not like I'm going to go out there and say I have it and start coughing on people, bro. I'm not stupid. I'm not no idiot. I know that if I'm not feeling well, I'm not going to go the fuck outside, and I'm not going to go outside for 2 weeks. Like if I had like a fever, first of all, I wouldn't even be live streaming. Okay, I wouldn't be live streaming if I felt super horrible. But if this helps me pass the time, hey, I ain't passing no viruses to anybody over a live stream. But then at the end of the day, too, if someone's like, hey, let's go to Burger King or something, fuck no, I'm not going nowhere because I don't, I'm not trying to get other people sick, whether it's the virus or if it's just, the flu or fever or whatever, or the common cold. I mean, where my lady works at, they do free testing. And yes, I do test myself. I don't just test myself when I feel like I have symptoms. I test myself just to see if I'm okay. And I always check for the results back, and it's free. Since she works there, everyone in her family can test. And so it's free. It's free for me to go get tested. And hey, I'm going to utilize it because I don't want to be someone that's going to go out there and spread it to somebody else. But my body, I know this much, that I'm not willing to risk putting that in me and then having me go to it. I mean, there were several people that took the vaccine and then passed. And of course, people are going to say it's conspiracy theories or whatever. We don't know. We can't say definitively that they passed because of the vaccine, but it's very, very suspicious that 2 weeks after, said person who was very popular, who people know, took the vaccine, 2 weeks later, he passed. And they quickly try to cover that up on the news saying natural causes. I don't know about that. If you don't agree with the same issues others believe in, you will be blacklisted and no longer be friends with that person. That's the way it is. Well, see, that's what's being taught today. That's what people are being groomed today to do. People are groomed today to say, hey, if you can't agree to disagree, completely annihilate them. And it's really being taught that. And people say, no, it's not. But I mean, hey, people are being conditioned to do something to somebody just because they voted for Donald Trump. Just because they voted for Donald Trump, other people are calling upon people to go and raise hell with them, treat them like shit. There's people in the city I know of that voted for Trump and their neighbors knew it, and they're still getting shit from their neighbors. I mean, we're well past the elections. Biden is president. Why the hell is everyone still doing this shit? But we're being bred to be stupid. If I'm going to be honest with people and blunt, we're bred to be stupid. We cancel culture and all the shit going on. We're being taught to just literally just forget about human decency. You know what I mean? Like Michael, he said something that offended me. Am I going to go and block him on this? No. And I like to use that as reference because Michael and I don't see eye to eye on certain things. Yet he still comes in and watches my live streams. And I still love having him here to conversate with. But see, I'm trying to show people what's called tolerance. Tomorrow, if I do a live stream, Michael's not going to be banned from my YouTube just because he disagrees with me and thinks that I should get vaccinated. It's no reason for me to cancel him because there are other things that he and I agree upon, or other things that he and I have interest on that he comes to the channel to listen about. I don't like blocking anybody unless they're very toxic, where there's no reasoning with them. So it's just best to have them not on here. That way they're not stirring the pot and no one's getting stressed. But I'm not going to cancel somebody just because of the way they think. I preach tolerance. I don't care if you're Democratic or Republican. I don't care what side of the political spectrum you're on. But if you're good to me, if you're nice to me, I'm nice to you. And just because we disagree on things doesn't mean that I won't hang out with you. I'm against. By the way, I like the hairstyle. I woke up this way, dude. I haven't even really styled my hair at all whatsoever. But I'm just like, we gotta stop. I really want to combat this new thing coming on where they're trying to teach people it's okay for one, to completely just cancel somebody just because they don't think like you. Like that's grouping people together, having other people snuffed out, and then once that group achieves what they're thinking that is the best for everybody, then that's where the powers that be turn on them and control them. It's all about control. Really, that's all what it is. That's the reason that today everything is put out there. Everything's put as national news. People, shit happens. Like the thing in Georgia happens. It was put out as national news, and then Stop Asian Hate thing, all that stuff. They pick and decide what's national news. But there's like this whole thing that happened in D.C. with the car robbery thing and everything like that, right? The video surfaced. The video was on Twitter. These two teenage girls who carjacked an Uber Eats driver who was elderly with a taser gun. Video feed shows that they took off with his car while he was hanging on the side of his car and got smashed by his own door when it hit the freaking light post, and then the car tips later on down the road. And it's a travesty. My condolences to that man's family. He didn't make it. He's gone. And the two girls in the video, they had no regard for his life. They were more worried about their cell phones or the mobile phones in his car than worrying about him surviving. A lot of people, instead of trying to help stop them from carjacking the guy, a lot of people whip their phones out to record, which is another thing that pisses me off about today's generation, is that everyone wants to look and record to get a fucking world star hip hop or an Instagram moment instead of actually fucking helping somebody, because they're human just like you. They bleed the same way just like you. They breathe the air just like you. Why can't you go and help and do the right thing? Everyone wants to whip their fucking phones out and record. That's bullshit. So the guy got hurt. Yeah, I do too, Michael. We can disagree on things, but we still respect each other. And this made national news, but it's not going to stay long. It's not going to stay long because, as some people point out, and this is a little messed up to say, but if it was two white girls, then it would have hit national media like a frenzy. And we would have had all kinds of different people talking about it and a lot more new hashtags, but it wasn't two white girls that did it. So I'm tired of this cancel culture thing. I'm tired of people wanting to divide. I really wish people could just shut the fuck up, agree to disagree, and find common ground to have a good time and find their humanity again. I mean, Jesus, I said this before, that social media played a big fucking part in this, because now people don't know how to interact with people or read body languages or anything like that, because everything is done through social platforms. Facebook, I want to ask this girl out on a date. It's his first time asking a girl on a date. Does he do it in person? Does he feel those experiences that he's going to like have butterflies in his stomach and feel like he wants to throw up because he's got to have the balls to walk up to a girl face to face and ask her out on a date? No. How did they do it now? TikTok, Facebook messages, Instagram messages. Hey, I like you. Come on. Meet me here. Let's go get a burger. Like, no. It takes out all the things that we would say is part of our humanity. The ability to understand other people. There's a lot of people today who rely so much on social media and have been engulfed with the social media and their, what I call their digital straw man, that they don't know how to read body language. They can look at somebody and they can't tell if that person's pissed off or if they're not pissed off. They can't look at a person and tell if that person, needs to pee versus they're suffering from anxiety. They can't tell. They don't know how to read body languages. They don't know how to read facial expressions. The type of expressions that people can identify with today is texting. If you type in all caps, what does that mean? You're yelling. If you type in lower cases, then, you're talking normal. But I always tell people, how can you define one's emotions and what they mean through text when you're not even hearing vocally what they're saying or reading any type of facial expressions? All you are is reading letters of the alphabet. How do you determine? They're like, well, if it's capitalized, they're yelling. But what if they're using a keyboard and a caps lock broke and it was stuck on capitalized all the time? Then what? You're going to think they're yelling every time when they're trying to say, hey, it's time for bed, go to sleep? Caleb says the only butterflies. The only butterflies I get are the emoticons in the chat message. No real emotional responses. But don't you miss that, though? I mean, I tell my son all the time. My son has a girlfriend, but his girlfriend doesn't live here in the city. His girlfriend lives in the East Coast. And, I'm looking at him, I'm like, do you ever, get that urge that you just want to hang out with them? You just want to go to the park and walk around and talk and hold their hand or put your arm around their shoulder, walk with pride, like, yeah, this is my chick, this is my babe. He just kind of looks at me, he's like, our relationship is fine. I'm like, wait a minute, so your relationship is good with her living in the East Coast and you living close to the West Coast, and all you guys do is video chat? Like, I mean, I get it that movies kind of project that stuff where like they showed like people can go on dates living in different parts of the world just by video chatting and taking that person with them. But it doesn't replace the actual real physical human emotional exchange. You know, it doesn't replace that. You will never get the same feeling that you would get holding your significant other's hands and giving each other kisses and embracing each other through video chat. That, I mean, if someone wants to argue the point, hell, I'm gonna say it like this, and that is, which would you prefer, getting the dirty deed laying in bed with the person or through video chat? Which is more satisfying? Ask yourself that question, because if you're gonna tell me that going to bed with person doing the dirty deed is better than video chatting that, then obviously real human interactions outweighs digital interactions. And that's what I'm trying to say. There are things that have been done. We have been groomed to become this way. If people ask, how could people be so stupid? Because we are given things to dumb down our minds. I mean, people wonder why today most parents put phones in the hands of their kids to completely raise their kids and so they don't have to do it. It's because they're tied to the freaking digital world, to be honest with people. Cesar Gonzalez, welcome. The physical contact. Yeah, I think a lot of people would enjoy the physical contact. I mean, procreating, has its perks besides, knowing that you're about to create life. If things are set in motion to be that way, you also get to have a little pleasure out of it. That's just the way it rolls. All I'm saying is this: my opinions, I would never trample and say Michael has to agree with me, and vice versa. I know he gives his opinions. He doesn't expect me to agree with him. And we can find common ground that if we don't agree on the subject, we can disagree, and that will be our common ground, and drop the subject and not go any further. I'm not going to cancel people. I'm not going to join society today that says that if you don't think like me, I'm going to destroy you. I don't believe in that. Just because someone doesn't agree with me doesn't mean I'm going to stalk the shit out of them and try to get them fired for their job. Think about what people are doing. Some people are losing their homes just because people are vindictive with this stupid mentality that I got to cancel you. So they destroy their fucking lives, not even thinking that they're stopping that person from bringing food home to their kids. Now you got a kid that's hungry, their parent that lost a job because they voted for Trump or they voted for Biden, whichever, vice versa, because there are people on both sides that are stupid and trying to cancel each other. Stop this canceling shit. Go back, take a good long look at yourself, because a lot of people are doing a lot of this, but no one's hardly ever doing a lot of this. Look at yourself, see if your closet is clean or does it hold skeletons. Stop throwing stones in a glass house. Just be civil with people. Worry about you. Stop worrying about everybody else. Worry about you. Make sure you're doing what you think is best. Understand that nobody's 100% perfect. I'm not 100% correct, and other people are not 100% correct. So I'll just do me, and everybody else does what they want to do, and let's just live our fucking lives. And stop hanging on every word that the fucking news and the government is saying. It's ridiculous to do that. You're putting yourself to live in fear by hanging off the words that they say. When 10, 15 years ago, we all used to say the government lies to us. The government is shady. What changed from then to make people think the government's telling us the truth? Because ain't nothing changed about them. They still do things the same damn way. And at that, I'll leave you guys to your own thoughts. Thanks for listening in. I talked politics on the last Periscope. Hey, Michael, thanks. I guess I'm gonna thank Michael for that, because Michael brings it up, and then it causes these little small debates we have. And that will end my final live stream on Periscope with that. So you guys take it easy. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Caleb, Michael, Gene, Cesar, and we had Baby Yoda. We had Vas. Thank you guys for coming in and hanging out. Appreciate you guys. I'll see you guys tomorrow. I'm going live again because I was going to go live on Thursday anyways. Got to talk to you guys about Godzilla versus Kong after I watch it tonight. I am ready. Let's go. Who y'all going for, Godzilla or Kong? Let me know. Peace.